Terence Bud Crawford versus the Gladiator John Molina Jr. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash that like button, also subscribe to the channel. Now, this is just a quick follow-up video to a video I did a couple days ago, and the title of that video is Terence Crawford versus John Molina Boxing December 10th, Top Rank Aram PBC together. Ego rumor mill. Another successful Ego rumor mill. If you head over to John Molina, his account, he just posted this fresh off the press in Boxing Ego fashion, and his caption reads, "Just got off the phone with my manager Al Heyman and my team Sam Watson. The fight is official. December 10th, HBO, time to go to war. Don't miss this fight, guys. Gladiator, Team Molina, hashtag Lambs to Lions, Premier Boxing." So, looks like Al Heyman, Bob Arum working together. Al Heyman gave the green light to another fighter of his working with HBO. Dominic Wade fought Golovkin on HBO. Canelo Khan was at HBO pay-per-view. And now John Molina headed over to HBO to fight an undefeated, very skilled Terence Bud Crawford. So this, to me, this is good news for a few reasons. Some people are going to try to immediately bash the matchup, but you got to look at it like this. I like to see, for me, one, we weren't going to see Terence Crawford anyway, because the date was initially given to first Canelo, then he got injured, then it was supposed to be Golovkin versus Danny Jacobs. All of those fights fell through for whatever reason, and now we're getting Terence Crawford in a comeback bout on HBO when he wasn't going to fight for the remainder of the year. And I like Terence Crawford. John Molina's my dude, so you know what I mean, I'm rocking with it. We weren't going to get to see him fight for the remainder of the year. Number two, Terence Crawford just beat the number 2 guy in the division who was a champion and unified, and he did it in dominant fashion. That was Victor Postal, a guy who had, people said, could outbox him. There were all these stats about how he has the best jab in the division and connect percentage and all this stuff. He was taller than Terence Crawford, and Crawford went in there. I was at that fight live. Heard him multiple times. Freddie Roach specifically said, "Oh, you know, Crawford, he was just too fucking fast." Like, he said he was too fast for my guy. You know what I'm saying? So for him to fight a John Molina, a puncher, that's a different stylistic matchup. And again, he's just coming off of a meaningful fight where he fought the number 2 guy in the division who was a champion. So, I mean, not every fight is going to be back to back wars. And you know what I'm saying? Like, where they're the craziest matchups. So I like that, you know what I'm saying? I like to see guys. We haven't seen Terence Crawford. Like, who's the last big puncher he fought? Gamboa, Deary Jean has good pop, but lost to Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? John Molina can crack. I know people who have sparred with him. They say he hits pretty hard. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And finally, the thing I like about this is Al Heyman and Bob Arum are working together, and this is a good fight for them to start that relationship, because the relationship for a while was not a glorious thing. You know what I mean? Bob Arum was like, "I ain't working with him. Premier boxing champs, they're wasting money." You know what I mean? It wasn't good stuff. So the fact that he's putting his A-level star, in terms of skill at least, you know what I mean, in Omaha in a fight with the puncher, and it's Al Heyman and him in cahoots collaborating. I love that, because this sets the gate. They're doing it at the end of the year too, which is awesome, because this opens the floodgate for a great 2017. If they start working together more frequently, we might get a fight with like Brandon Rios. Well, actually, Brandon Rios is a free agent, but Brandon Rios versus like a Broner. Oscar Valdez is a great fighter. Vasil Lomachenko with the Heyman guy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ways, like a Lomachenko versus Gary Russell rematch, and without a purse bid or any kind of, like, any sanctioning body forcing them to make the fight. They made this fight on their own free will. This is a Terence Crawford voluntary defense. John Molina is not the mandatory. And again, it's a different style. We haven't seen, I'm not saying Crawford's clearly, between his amateur and pro career, he's fought all the styles. Punchers, you fought Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia as amateurs, but as a pro, it's been a while since we've seen him with a big puncher. Now, skill-wise, obviously you have to favor Terence Crawford. I mean, the dude moves like water. I've covered 2 of his fights live, and he's a bad boy. But John Molina, you gotta take this into consideration. Like, John Molina he's game and he can crack. And the other thing is, like, I'm not building the case. I mean, the fight's gonna be what the fight's gonna be. But the thing is, John Molina, a lot of people, me personally, not just because I know dude, but I like the fact of he doesn't back down from any challenge. You look at the guys, there's certain guys like John Molina, Gabe Rosado, and their resumes is going to have some losses, but look who they're fighting. You know what I mean? Look who they're stepping in with. If everybody did that, like let's say Canelo and Golovkin and all these guys fought these types of people, these types of threats to your style in your division, then there would be a lot more people with Gabe Rosado, John Molina type of resumes or losses, wins and losses. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, because John Molina Jr., look at his resume. He's been in there with Hammer and Hank Lundy. He's been in there with Mickey Bay, and he actually won those fights. He's been in there with Ruslan Provodnikov. And the other thing I like with John Molina is I like when a fighter knows when they need to change. He made some changes with his longtime camp to get a new trainer or a fresh look, and he made that change to better his career, and it paid off versus Ruslan Provodnikov. A lot of people, including me, I didn't think he was going to win that fight. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest. And he said I proved a lot of, he told me that. He said I proved a lot of people wrong with that. So, I mean, it is what it is. But again, you look at his resume, he's been in there with Lucas Matisse, knocked him down more times than Danny Garcia. He was willing to fight Danny Garcia, and he's been in there with guys. Mickey Bay, he's going in there with Terence Crawford, Ruslan Provodnikov, punchers. He was willing to fight another puncher and counter puncher, Danny Garcia. He did fight a puncher, boxer puncher, Lucas Matisse, right? Adrian Broner, the problem. He's willing to fight whoever. So, I mean, I at least give him credit for that, because he's willing to scrap with everybody. And again, if you want to say he's off a win too, and if you want to say whatever, again, like I said, there's a lot of guys in boxing who their resume, if they were fighting the Broners, the Crawfords, the Matisses of their division, then I'm telling you, their records wouldn't look like they do right now. You know what I mean? If they fought Broner level talent threats and Matisse level threats, and even he fought DeMarco when DeMarco was hot, right? So props to John Molina for taking the fight. It's an uphill battle based on the skill set of Terence Crawford. I don't have to sugarcoat or anything. It's going to be a challenging fight, because we've seen the Broner fight, and John Molina is going to have to show us some things in there. But he's definitely, look, I mean, look at Berto. That's a welterweight. Look at him next to him. So he definitely has size. He's a big dude, pretty big for 140. I don't know if it's happening at a catch weight. I believe it's happening in Omaha. So I might even try to get out to this fight. But, I mean, the dude's pretty big considering. So it's not like Terence Crawford, basically, anytime you're in there with the puncher, you're going to have to be at least mindful. Because, look, that's a welterweight. And look at him next to him. Look at his fist. He's a pretty big dude. So, again, speed advantage clearly goes to Crawford. Skill goes to Crawford. But when you got power, who knows? You know what I mean? Mickey Bay was clearly beating John Molina, you know what I mean, bad. And John Molina turned it around. So, it is what it is. HBO, more importantly, I like PBC and Al Heyman working with Top Rank and Bob Arum. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop it below. Let me know how this fight plays out and what you think the future holds with the two, Al Heyman and Bob Arum, finally, after so long, working together. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.